I absolutely love featuring cheap RC cars on my channel. Bonzai RC got in contact with me and asked me if I'd like to feature their new 1/12 scale truck, and of course I said yes. They promised this thing will do 30 miles per hour out the box, and today we're going to see if it does. Before we take a closer look at the truck, let's take a look at what we get in the box. In the box you don't really get a huge amount. You do get some stickers. I have already applied those, as you can see. We've got a black and white manual, which is basic, but it's decent and it's good enough to get you up and running if you are a beginner. We've got a USB charger, some optional LED lights, and we've got our transmitter. The transmitter's not too bad, it certainly feels okay to hold. We've got a nice foam grip on the steering wheel there. We've got our steering trim and our throttle dual rate on and off switch, and that's pretty much it. You will need 4 AA batteries to get you up and running. Here it is then. Yeah, I don't think it looks too bad. I'm a big fan of the yellow colour scheme on there, sort of like a camouflage style. Not too bad to look at. Overall, not a bad looking little truck. The rear wing is quite firm, but it is flexible, so hopefully that should take a little bit of abuse. We've got a very flexible front bumper, and you have got the cutouts there to fit your LED lights. We've also got a rigid rear bumper with some sort of wheelie bar there. Now, I don't think this is going to have enough power to pop any wheelies, but we will soon find out. Right, let's get the body off and take a closer look underneath. Let's start by taking a closer look at the electronics. We have got a 550 sized brush motor, a 50 amp ESC and receiver unit. The servo is standard sized, but it is using a 5-wire system, but you can upgrade to a 3-wire servo if you want to. Plug it in there and you should be good to go. I have reviewed Bonzai RC products before, and one of the things that really gets to me is the size of the battery tray. Now this comes with the 1500 mAh 2S lithium ion. Realistically, that's not going to give us a huge amount of runtime in a truck of this size and weight, and the fact that you can't fit a bigger pack is a little bit annoying. We get metal front and rear diffs as well as metal drive shafts. We've got metal CVDs on the front and we've got dog bones on the rear. Another thing to take note of is there isn't any adjustability when it comes to this truck. As you can see, you've got these fixed links. We haven't got adjustable turnbuckles or anything like that, but for a beginner, this truck would be ideal. If you watch my channel, you know I'm not a huge fan of friction shocks, and unfortunately this does come with friction shocks. Now you can upgrade these if you want to, and I think on a truck of this size, you will definitely want to fit a decent set of oil-filled shocks. Finally, let's talk about the wheels and tyres. Now the wheel design looks quite nice, not too bad, but the compound of the tyres is very, very firm, almost plasticky. Also, as you can hear, we haven't got foam inserts. Yeah, not too bad, acceptable, but I'm not sure how these are going to perform. So overall, not a bad looking truck. I think it's really going to come down to the overall performance. I'm a little bit worried about those shocks. I do feel like they're going to be a little bit bouncy later when we take this out for a run. Top speed, they say this will do 48 kilometers per hour. Again, I don't think we're going to see 48, but we will find out when we do the speed test. The first thing we're going to do is a speed test. Will this hit that 30 mile per hour claimed top speed? Right, let's do this then. Let's see if this thing will hit 30 miles per hour. Well, I've reviewed lots of RC cars on my channel, and straight away, it certainly doesn't feel like 30. I'm going to take a guess and say we'll potentially hit 21, 22 maybe. Now, considering the size of this truck, I would say it does feel a little bit underpowered. We have to remember these trucks are for people who are looking to get into the hobby. They're not really for enthusiasts or people who have been into RC for many years. You know, you will potentially go for something bigger and more powerful. But they do offer a nice solid option for people who want something a little bit bigger, but they don't necessarily want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars or pounds. And there's no denying it does look really good. I do sort of wish it was brushless though, just considering the size of it. I think if it had a brushless system, it would be a little bit more appealing. Right, one more pass, we'll put it in. We'll see what we got. Right, so let's see what we got. We got 22, which is pretty much spot on my estimate. It did feel sort of low 20s, and that's exactly what we got. So we only achieved 22 miles per hour, which is a little bit disappointing. It's nowhere near that 30 mile per hour top speed that they claim this will do. Now, we have seen this before. I've done various videos on the whole speed claim thing. We're not going to go into it right now, but let's see how this performs off-road. Well, straight away, super bouncy. And again, that is to be expected with those friction shocks. I really wish this thing come with oil-filled shocks straight out the box, because it's not the cheapest of trucks out there. I will have to double check, but I'm pretty sure this thing comes in at $179, $179.99 to be exact. Just look how bouncy it is. And this isn't even harsh terrain. You know, if you thought you'd take this thing down the skate park, yeah, that's not going to happen. So bouncy. And I don't think RC companies realise, but the fact that it's so bouncy makes it difficult to control, because it's bouncing around all over the place. So you find yourself having to make so many minor adjustments just to try and keep it in a straight line. It doesn't feel as planted as it would if it had oil-filled shocks. Well, the wheelie bar's a little bit useless, because this thing doesn't have enough power in it to pop any wheelies. But it may come in handy if I do decide to do a brushless conversion. Oh, see, so bouncy, and it makes it really hard to control. I think what we have to remember is this truck is aimed at beginners. You know, this is aimed at people who are just starting out in the hobby. They want a nice, reliable truck that's going to perform well. Now, considering how much this costs, there are quite a few options out there which may potentially be a little bit better than this straight out the box. Now, when I did the brushless conversion on the Comet Racer, that was a completely different car when it was brushless. Bouncy shocks. Yeah, that was a completely different car once I'd done the conversion. And I think with this, with a decent set of oil-filled shocks and a moderate brushless system, it could definitely be a decent little truck. Now, overall, not a bad performer. Yeah, the top speed is a little bit disappointing, along with those friction shocks. I think they're the biggest thing for me, and as you see, it was incredibly bouncy. Now, if this thing come with oil-filled shocks straight out the box, I think it would be a really good option for most people who are starting out in the hobby. The running footage that you see on today's video was recorded a couple of weeks ago, and since then, they've offered to send me the oil-filled upgraded shocks for this truck. Now, these things come in at about $50, which is quite a bit of money for a set of oil-filled shocks. If you want to check out all the upgrades for this truck, I will leave some links in the description below for you to head over to the Bonzai website. You'll be able to see what's available for this truck. But apart from that, we're going to leave it there today. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the Bonzai 1/12 scale truck in action. And if you did, be sure to drop a comment down below. Coming up soon on the channel, we're also going to take a look at another Bonzai RC truck. This is the Intrepid. It's 1/16 scale. It looks really good. I cannot wait to get this thing out, so stay tuned. This one is going to be coming very soon. As soon as those shocks arrive, I'll get those fitted, and then we'll get this thing out for another run.